to WrestleMania is slowly taking shape. We now have a second match announced for Las Vegas. The Android has now challenged I guess they're one and the same. Tiffany Stratton. I may need a reprogramming. I can't even get her name right. Charlotte challenged Tiffany Stratton. Gee, man, color me shocked. Damian Priest. He's in the Elimination Chamber. I thought it was going to be Jacob Fatu. But Damian Priest is in the chamber. We still don't know why Solo Sikoa did what he did last week. We got no answers as to why he attacked Cody Rhodes. No real answer anyway. And tonight I thought it was a good episode of SmackDown. A little weird in some parts. A little weird. But all in all, a good night. Still, I can't stand 3 hours, but we'll try and get through it, man. We'll have a good time on Friday night. I'll tell you what, though, man. Let's get to the venue. I need a drink. I need a beverage, as always. And when I walk through those doors on this Friday night, I want to know, what the fuck are you guys drinking? I'll see you over there.
Why has Triple H been so successful? Why is Triple H running WWE better than Vince McMahon and Bruce Pritchard on Monday and Friday night? Long-term booking.
What is going on, guys? Thank you so very much for joining me right here on Off the Script. This is your Friday Night SmackDown post show for February 14th, 2025. I am your host, JD from New York. As always, coming to you live from the OTS venue inside my mother's basement. Thank you guys so very much for joining me on your Friday evenings, your Valentine's Day, wherever you may be. SmackDown. 3 hours. Gee, man, I'm so excited, man. I love, man. Friday night's my favorite night, man. Watching 3 hours of SmackDown. Can't get enough of it. I should request them to push it to 5 hours, man. That's how much I love Friday Night SmackDown, man. Easily my favorite night of the week, my favorite show of the week. Said nobody ever. Said nobody ever. All in all joking aside, it was not that bad of a show tonight. We had a great middle. We had a great end, great beginning. It was everything in between the beginning, middle, and end that was, I don't know, man. You can tell that the show is not designed, the roster is not designed for 3 hours. Hopefully we fix that as we move forward, man. We start adding some names, maybe some NXT names, maybe returning Malachi Black, maybe a returning Miro of sorts. But Friday Night SmackDown tonight, man, I don't even know where to begin. The biggest thing that WWE had coming into tonight was how the show ended last week. And it was Solo Sikoa giving the Samoan spike to the WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. Everybody was rightfully upset. Oh, I can't see this again. How many times are they going to go back to Cody and the Bloodline? Obviously, that sparked more. Is The Rock coming back? Is The Rock going to be at the Chamber? Is The Rock going to be at WrestleMania? I was one of those people. Nothing else makes sense. Don't know why they would just pivot to that in the midst of the Elimination Chamber, only for then Cody Rhodes to move on to John Cena or CM Punk, or as the rumors now are aggregating online, both in a triple threat match, which would be awful. But that was the biggest takeaway from last week's show coming on into this show. And in the 3 hours that were tonight, we didn't really get an answer as to why he did what he did last week. The only thing that we got was he took time away after losing the Ulafala. He lost to Roman Reigns and he wasn't himself. Now he's back. He's more like himself again. And the whole mission is for the family to take back the WWE Championship because they feel it should have never left the family. Fine. At no point during tonight's show did they give us a reason as to why Solo Sikoa attacked Cody Rhodes outside of the very bare bones, basic reason. So if you guys are looking for an answer, they gave you zero as far as an answer. The biggest takeaway from the entire Solo Sikoa and Cody Rhodes ordeal was the fact that Jacob Fatu is, I know he's probably listed internally as a heel alongside Tama Tonga. But man, the crowd tonight in Washington, D.C., did they ever react to Jacob Fatu in a way? If you watched tonight's show for the first time and you saw Jacob Fatu for the first time, you would be convinced that he is a babyface. That was Washington, D.C. tonight. Especially in the open of the show. Even in the main event, people were cheering him. I was hoping he would even go on to win and advance to the Elimination Chamber. Jacob Fatu is slowly, I don't even want to say slowly, WWE's been pushing him pretty moderately on the show, and he's going to be a bigger deal this time next year. He may be a top champion this time next year in WWE, but you see what the Rocket Pack is doing to Jacob Fatu, and I have no problem with that whatsoever. Jacob Fatu, he did mention to Drew McIntyre tonight that he's going to take the WWE Championship back into the family by winning his qualifier, by winning the Chamber, and by beating Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. Now, clearly, none of that was ever going to happen, but one could dream. He's got big dreams and big aspirations, does Jacob Fatu. But then Solo Sikoa showed up, and it was more about Jacob wanting to talk to Solo about where he's been, why last week happened, and he and Cody Rhodes were on the same page. I got to talk to Solo Sikoa, says Jacob Fatu, because this is family business first. And then Cody Rhodes told Jacob Fatu in the open of the show that whatever is left of Solo Sikoa, I want the last laugh against Solo Sikoa for what happened last week. It doesn't look like they're going in a direction where Solo Sikoa is getting a WWE Championship match. I don't think we have to worry about that whatsoever. I honestly think that they did more to show you exactly what they're doing in the bloodline, within the bloodline, than what they're doing with Cody Rhodes going into the Elimination Chamber. WWE basically said tonight, don't worry about what you saw last week. Don't worry about getting an explanation this week. The WrestleMania match for Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu was solidified tonight on Friday Night SmackDown, and it's going to be Solo versus Jacob Fatu. That's the only match that makes sense. The only match that makes sense. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Jacob Fatu is doing so much work on his own to get the crowd emotionally invested in what's going on that a match like this before might not be that appealing. But the way things are working right now, Jacob Fatu has been on TV every single week. He's been getting that crowd reaction, and Solo Sikoa disappeared for a little bit, which was probably the best thing for his character because I think a lot of people were fatigued on Solo Sikoa. And now that he's back and he wants to get everything straight again, it can't because Jacob Fatu was basically on the show in his absence, leading the charge, showing everybody that he doesn't really need Solo Sikoa. And that Solo Sikoa let the family down and ran away from the problems instead of Jacob Fatu, who was on the losing end. His family was on the losing end, and he was full steam ahead. No looking back whatsoever. And tonight, Jacob Fatu did not utter the words, I love you, Solo. When Solo Sikoa looked at Jacob Fatu dead in the face and said, Jacob, I love you. Jacob didn't even acknowledge it. He just walked away. And then obviously we got what we got in the close of the show, where there was a lot of miscommunication, and Cody Rhodes came out to help Damian Priest advance to the Elimination Chamber. It looks like we are getting some internal Bloodline 2.0, if they are still even being called that. Looks like we're getting some internal family Bloodline drama with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa. That was the biggest takeaway of the show. It looks like they are headed towards a Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa WrestleMania match. So I did like that they are forwarding that part of the WrestleMania card. Good on them. Damian Priest advanced to the Elimination Chamber. No surprise there, being that the rumor is Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania. I would assume that their WrestleMania program begins in the Chamber in 2 weeks. So I think that is all but set. LA Knight, the rumor was that they may pivot to a different plan for Drew McIntyre, but it looks like after tonight, LA Knight is going after the United States Championship. And right now, he's embroiled in getting that back, and now he's got The Miz on his tracks, and he wants the United States Championship back. So I don't know where we're going with that. They played off the Drew McIntyre and LA Knight rumors coming out of the Royal Rumble last week in their qualifying match. Didn't even really address it tonight outside of a name drop by LA Knight in a very weird promo with The Miz. So it looks like we are going in separate directions there. Tiffany Stratton had a very good match with Nia Jax as Nia Jax continues to churn out decent performances. It was a little rocky at the start, but Nia Jax always seems to grab them by the end of the match. And I thought her and Tiffany Stratton had a very good match by the conclusion. Trish Stratus out of nowhere, who was in attendance today in Washington, D.C., she interjected and saved Tiffany Stratton from further beatdown from Candice LeRae and Nia Jax. And Tiffany Stratton and Trish Stratus are now going to team up going into the Elimination Chamber against Nia Jax and Candice LeRae in some tag team action. So that happened tonight. We'll talk about that. Charlotte Flair, she made her WrestleMania dreams a reality tonight as she chose Tiffany Stratton for the Women's Heavyweight Championship, or the WWE Women's Championship, rather, for WrestleMania. That is her match. I will continue to say from this point on the road to WrestleMania, every single time I talk about Charlotte Flair, there is no conceivable way that WWE Creative can look and hear every single week the disinterest in Charlotte Flair and have her beat Tiffany Stratton at the biggest show of the year. I don't know what they are seeing that everybody else is not. I don't know who's paying them off. I don't know. But at the end of the day, Charlotte Flair in absolutely no way should be defeating Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. All in all, it was a decent SmackDown tonight. 3 hours, still too long. Jade Cargill, we forwarded that storyline as well just a little bit. A lot of people are like, well, WWE just revealed the attackers. No, they did not. WWE did not anywhere close reveal the attackers of Jade Cargill. That's what they want you to think. And some of the people online already burying the storyline, they didn't reveal anything. I didn't see any attackers in the video. Did you? If you did, I'd love for you to pinpoint where you saw the attackers. Nobody attacked anybody yet. It's called a swerve, folks. They're not going to reveal it on a random episode of Friday Night SmackDown in Washington, D.C. Give me a break. We'll discuss everything tonight on Friday Night SmackDown. I want to thank you guys for joining me on your Friday nights. It's Valentine's Day. Thank you for allowing me to be your Valentine on this Friday night. It's been the best month of February through a 2-week period so far, man. Love it. You guys are kicking ass this February. We uploaded some great content over the weekend. We uploaded some great content earlier this week, man. Monday night we were live. Jason, the Sala Monster, and myself, Tuesday Night Titans 82, the return of the monster on Tuesday nights. Over 53,000 views on Tuesday night with a great average of 46-minute per viewer retention. Is Tuesday night the best night for a sit-down podcast? Absolutely. You're looking at them. The Titans. Nobody does it better. Thank you for that. Wednesday, Jesse and I were live for AEW, which right now I'm hearing they are taping Grand Slam. Can't wait to see what the attendance looks like. Can't wait to see what the setup looks like. I got some in Brisbane correspondents feeding me information. Hopefully we get something coming out of the Brisbane Entertainment Center, man. I can't wait to see what AEW does for Grand Slam and how it comes off. I was supposed to be going out to dinner with my brother who is celebrating his 40th birthday on Sunday. We were supposed to go out tomorrow. Plans got pushed back a week for situations beyond our control. So, I have now nothing to do tomorrow. So, I will be catching up on NXT Vengeance Day. I will be catching up on Grand Slam whenever that goes live. So, I have a Saturday night full of wrestling to get my fix in. And I will, more than likely, be covering Vengeance Day live tomorrow night. So, expect to stream tomorrow night. I figured I should do that because surprises are going to be Ricky Starks is now in NXT, and I feel like you guys need to see me tomorrow night. I feel like I'm needed tomorrow night. So we'll figure that out I appreciate you guys for all the support so far. Like I said, through February, we are kicking ass here. Love it. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Thank you to all of the recent cameos, man. We fulfilled about 5 or 6 cameos in the last week and a half. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully you enjoy what we recorded for you. Thank you guys very much. If you guys want a cameo, I'm available for everything, man. Hit that thumbs up. Let's try for tonight's goal, 750 likes on the thumbs up goal. Super chats are open. Get them on in. We'll hang out at the end of the show as always. And tonight's show is sponsored by Bluechew. Bluechew.com. There's no code anymore, apparently, they told me. Just go to Bluechew.com. Tell them that Off the Script with JD from NY sent you. Bluechew.com tonight is the official sponsor of Off the Script. JD is NXT? No. Guys, I did not watch NXT yet. All I watched was the Ricky Starks appearance. That's all I cared about. Don't really care about any other aspect of NXT. When you got a main event of Grayson Waller versus Obafemi for the NXT Championship, you're not going to really generate any interest with that, man. You're not going to grab my attention with that, okay? It's not really a lot to like on the NXT side of things, except for Julia, Stephanie Vaquer. You guys get the point. I will be watching tomorrow night, though. Should be an entertaining 2 hours. SmackDown tonight. Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. Cody Rhodes. He started the show off. And Cody Rhodes is out there to address Solo Sikoa after what happened last week with the Samoan spike right to the jugular at the end of SmackDown. Now, by the way, before I get into Cody, Michael Cole was not on the call, as I thought he would be. Joe Tessitore was absent from Friday Night SmackDown as he was calling a boxing event. So Joe Tess was not on commentary. I thought they would fill in for Michael Cole. They did not get in Michael Cole. Instead, they brought in Vic Joseph. Vic Joseph. Oh! Vic Joseph. You know, the NXT guy. I don't know what Corey Graves did to WWE management, but you would figure before the tweet, before the blow-up on social media, when a situation like this would occur, that Corey Graves would be the go-to. Yeah, let's get Corey Graves over. He'll do play-by-play just for one night. Now they've bypassed Corey Graves, and they've gone to Vic Joseph, who I believe they're good friends anyway. They used to do the podcast together on the WWE Network. No Corey Graves, no Michael Cole. They got in Vic Joseph. To each his own, I guess. Not a fan. Even though I tried my best to tune him out. Not a fan of his work. I don't know when Corey's going to get out of the doghouse. I don't know why they are treating him so unfairly. It's like Corey burned their fucking house down, man, and pissed on the ashes. Was what he did that bad? I don't know. They've banished him to NXT. But again, listen, he gets to sit ringside with Stephanie Vaquer. So, I mean, is it really such a loss? I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't think so at that point. Anyway, moving on. Cody Rhodes. He's out there. He asked Washington, D.C. what they want to talk about. Cody talked about possible challengers. He called Logan Paul the most natural athlete to ever enter our sport. Booze. Booze for Logan Paul. He called CM Punk the voice of the voiceless. He said Drew McIntyre, without any any background to Drew McIntyre, without any definition for Drew, just Drew McIntyre. Also Drew McIntyre. Obviously, Drew McIntyre is worth more than just a name mention. He had the best year of his career, best feud of the year, best match of the year. I mean, let's start showing some Drew McIntyre respect, huh? Don't worry, Cody. You'll be seeing Drew this year at some point. I'm fully convinced of that. He called John Cena the greatest of all time. Is he? WWE wants you to think John Cena is the greatest of all time. Is he my greatest of all time? No, he's not. He said he knows it won't be Solo Sikoa because he hasn't qualified and isn't in any of the remaining qualifiers. He said he believes that the Samoan spike last week wasn't for him. And who the fuck was it for? There was only one guy in the ring, and that was Cody Rhodes. It seemed pretty apparent who the Samoan spike was for. McIntyre's music hits, and he walks out. McIntyre gets into the ring. He tells Cody Rhodes, Cody, is that all I get? And also, Drew McIntyre, is that all I get? So Cody took the microphone, asked the crowd if they wanted him to redo and re-say all the names, and he speaks out loud with some oomph, with some enthusiasm this time. And also, Drew McIntyre, pal! So, Drew makes fun of Cody and says, yes, also Drew McIntyre, who's won an Elimination Chamber twice. He's a former multiple-time world champion, a Money in the Bank winner, a Royal Rumble winner. He asks Cody if he's the same Drew who last month on SmackDown stood in the ring and gave him a hug and said he was worried about him going to a dark place. Yet, you, Cody, tried to fight me, he says. He said a few weeks later, Cody attacked when he was trying to handle business with Sami Zayn. I don't know your deal, and I didn't want it to be this way, but now you've made it personal, buddy. You've made it personal. He added that he'll have to remind Cody exactly who he is. Cody asked, is that so? Is that so? He said he can count on one hand the men who have defeated him since he returned to WWE, and Drew McIntyre is one of those men. He says he has not forgotten that. Jacob Fatu's music then hit. Crowd erupted when they heard Jacob Fatu's music. Both Drew and Cody, who was already facing the stage, dead eye on Jacob Fatu walking up the aisleway. They walk out, they get in the ring. Fans are loudly chanting, Fatu, Fatu. Everybody loves Fatu. Jacob confronted Drew and says he's already got his spot in the chamber. Tonight, he says he's all gas and no brakes. He said regarding Priest and Strowman, he's about to dog walk their asses. This all got cheered, by the way. Everybody in Washington, D.C. loved Jacob Fatu. He said he'll win the chamber. He'll go to WrestleMania. He'll win the WWE Championship and bring the title back home to his family. Drew McIntyre stared at him, face to face, eye to eye. He raised the microphone to his mouth and told Fatu that he thinks people want to see a psychopath and a werewolf throw down in the nation's capital tonight. He said, well, that's not going to happen because I have my spot in the chamber already. You don't, so good luck to you. I'll see you guys later. Cody, I think he wants to talk to you, said Drew. And he left the ring. Fatu circled Cody. He eyed the WWE Championship. Cody told Fatu, when he qualifies for the chamber and wins the chamber, they can fight over this title. Another Fatu chant started. Solo Sikoa, all of a sudden, they show a video or a camera live feed backstage on the big screen, and Solo Sikoa is driving in his rental into the building. He gets out wearing all white like he's reborn again. He's wearing all white like he's reborn. He's returned. The king has returned to SmackDown without the Ulafala. So Jacob Fatu was very displeased to see Solo Sikoa. And Fatu put his arm up because Cody was going to go back there and beat the shit out of him. Fatu put his arm up to block Cody Rhodes and said if anyone is going to speak to Solo, it's going to be him first, talking family business. Cody says, if Fatu has the first word, then certainly I am going to get the last word. Fatu didn't even flinch. He left Cody in the ring. He and Tama Tonga walked away and went to go find Solo Sikoa. WWE did a couple of things here. A, tease tension with Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa and tease internal problems with the family. Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo Sikoa. While also at the same time, making sure Drew McIntyre is still in the mind and eyes of people to be a legit contender coming into the Elimination Chamber and walking out of the Elimination Chamber. More so after WrestleMania season is over. McIntyre is going to continue to be a thorn in Cody Rhodes' side. This is going to be a major feud for Cody Rhodes this summer. I don't know where it's going to take place. Could very well take place at SummerSlam for all we know. But Drew McIntyre, I've said this time and time again, multiple times. And if you start hearing people say it and utter it, you know where they heard it first. Drew McIntyre is my early odds-on favorites to win the King of the Ring tournament when Triple H brings back that specific event. He's going to win King of the Ring. He's going to win the number one contender through King of the Ring, and he's going to get Cody Rhodes by winning the King of the Ring tournament. When that match happens, will it be SummerSlam? Will it be somewhere else? I don't know. So WWE teased drama in the Bloodline with all three members of the Bloodline, Fatu, Tama Tonga, and Solo, while also teasing a potential showdown between Drew McIntyre and Cody Rhodes. Now, I don't know what's going to happen here with Jacob Fatu. WWE, the more that we see Fatu, the more people are going to want to see him and cheer him. I don't know where we're going with this. WWE made it a thing where Fatu was supposed to solidify himself as a heel in the midst of the Bloodline aftermath, with Solo Sikoa losing the Ulafala. I don't know if I would deviate away from what we're getting from the audience. I don't know how that's going to be when we eventually get Jacob Fatu and Roman Reigns to cross paths, because Roman is a babyface. I don't really see them turning Roman back into a heel. But when you got Jacob Fatu out there getting cheers, and the match that is definitely going to be on the table at some point between Fatu and Roman, if this keeps up, both of them are going to be babyfaces. So what's going to happen when we eventually get a Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns showdown, and both of them are babyfaces? WWE better watch what's going on here. They need to carefully navigate what's going on here. Otherwise, it's going to get out of control. It's going to get too beyond them fixing it. And Jacob Fatu is going to fast-track himself into being a babyface when WWE had no intentions of him being a babyface. It is very difficult not to want to cheer him. It's just so simple. The guy comes out, he's uber fucking cool. No bullshit, no frills. He's out there wearing a fucking ski mask with eyes in it, like he's going to rob a fucking bank. Pun intended. The guy just looks legit. The guy just looks legit. He's fucking cool. Everything he says has meaning. Everything he says has legitimacy behind it. People love real. People want to cheer him because that's exactly who he is. He's not pretending to be anybody. He's not playing a character. He's not out there fucking spitting some corny, cheesy, cringy lines at anybody. That's him. And people are drawn to that. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't. WWE is going to have a very difficult time turning him back into a heel if this continues up. Tama Tonga was shown walking backstage where there was a worker there who he interrogated. Where's Solo? Did you see Solo? Yeah, that way. And the guy's legitimately shaking. He's like shaking, raising his hand. He went that way. So Tama Tonga doesn't lay a hand on this guy. All of a sudden, you see Jacob Fatu coming out of the side of the frame, lunging at this guy, blasting him with a leaping forearm and throws him into production crates. This poor soul. Here I am laughing on my couch at this poor schmuck, this production tech, got fucking blasted by Jacob Fatu for absolutely no reason. And here I am laughing at this guy's demise on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't know why I found this so funny. Vic Joseph then on commentary said, geez, that guy, wrong place, wrong time, huh? Yeah, I would say so. Wade Barrett was in the crowd. He interviewed Trish Stratus at ringside. He called her a welcome surprise and asked if she was going to appear at the Elimination Chamber in her hometown of Toronto, Canada. She said the Elimination pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, or PLE, is one of the more exciting PLEs, and it's in her hometown this year. So she will definitely be there. She said she just has to decide if she'll be watching from ringside or a suite. So at this point, Chelsea's music interrupted, and she walked out with Piper Niven to start her match with Naomi. This was an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. Now, there was a rumor last week that Trish Stratus was going to be in the Elimination Chamber plans and that WWE had a plan to bring her back to television. Being that she was, I don't know, was she in the Royal Rumble? I think she was in the Royal Rumble. She was in the Royal Rumble. So, WWE, there was a report that she may be integrated back into some plans at the Chamber. They may be bringing her back. I figured they'd make her a guest host, being that it's in Toronto. Here we find out tonight that she's actually going to be wrestling alongside Tiffany Stratton. I guess we need that buffer in between the Rumble and WrestleMania for Tiffany Stratton. We need some extra rub for Tiffany Stratton before she goes and drops the fucking title to the android. I hope to God that's not the case. Chelsea Green, the Women's United States Champion. Keep that in mind, folks. Remember that. The Women's United States Champion. One-on-one against Naomi. This was an Elimination Chamber qualifying match. We go to a commercial break. We'll pick it up after the break because that's the only thing that really matters here. Naomi hit Green with a crossbody off the top rope. Then she follows up with a bulldog. Her patented scissor kick. She goes for a cover. She gets a near fall. Naomi hits a heat seeker-like maneuver. Very sloppy. She missed a split-legged moonsault. Green hit a Rough Rider for a near fall. Also not very good. Green dropped Naomi with a backstabber. Goes for a cover. She gets a 2 count. Chelsea Green tried to come off the top rope with an unprettier. Naomi slipped out and caught Chelsea Green with a kick out of the corner. Naomi then hit the split-legged moonsault and got the win. 1, 2, 3 over the Women's United States Champion, Chelsea Green. Folks, are we at a point yet? Are we at a point yet where we could start asking the question of why were the Women's United States Championship and the Women's Intercontinental Championship created if the women that they were going to put these titles on were going to make the titles feel worse than they really should be presented? Are we at that point yet where we can start asking questions? Because if you guys go back to Saturday night's main event where Chelsea Green won the championship, what was my concern, chat? What was my main concern outside of everybody saying Chelsea Green got herself over? Chelsea Green deserves it. Chelsea Green deserves a run with the title. This is exactly why the title was made, for women like Chelsea Green. Chat, do you remember what I said in regards to Chelsea Green winning the United States Championship? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember? Was it the fact that the one thing JD from NY was worried about is putting the title on someone like Chelsea Green, who's not going to be legitimate enough to solidify the championship as important? on SmackDown on Friday nights. There you go. Caden got it. Caden Crawford in the chat. You know what? Caden's going to get a round of applause because that's exactly what I said. Absolutely. I got to ask, what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? You know, it's only fair. It's only fair where AEW treats their TBS, or not TBS, Mercedes is whatever. At least Mercedes is defending her title. And Mercedes is bringing credibility to the TBS title. The TNT title, the international title, the continental title, the fucking trios titles. These are titles that are less than because of the creative behind these titles. If we are going to critique AEW and the lack of prestige for their titles, then it's only fair to do it for WWE. Why were these titles created if nobody was going to take them seriously? Was this a case of WWE listening to unintelligent, unknowledgeable fucking geeks online cry, bitch, moan, and complain? Oh, well, the women, they need more opportunity, JD from NY. They need more opportunity. Fantastic. You know what we need? We need women who are going to hold this championship that are going to bring prestige to said championship. Or better yet, maybe we need a creative team that's going to treat the championship with some sort of respect and some prestige. This is now the second week in a row, or second time in a week, never mind 2 weeks in a row, second time this week, where we had both the Intercontinental Champion and the United States Champion take a pinfall loss, clean, in the middle of the ring. May I ask why? May I ask the ever-important question of why? Was there nobody else on the roster that you could plug into this match for Naomi to beat? Did it have to be Chelsea Green, the Women's United States Champion? Was there somebody else on the roster on Monday Night Raw that you could have plugged in for Bayley to go over, where we didn't have to pin the Intercontinental Champion, Lyra, Valkyria? Or is there nobody else, man? Is that it? Are these the only women that you got on the roster? Or are they purposely burying these championships? Because just like everything else in the women's division, it doesn't matter. Nobody gives a fuck about anything else unless you are a world champion. When can we start asking questions? It's been how many months now? 2 months. 2 months. January, February, 2 months. And not one single fucking story has been born. With both of these championships on the roster now, there's not one single story, not one single additional story for either the Intercontinental or the United States Championship. What are we doing? Is it too early to ask questions? No, it's not. The creative for this, the creative for the Intercontinental Championship is pure fucking garbage. Garbage. You could not ask me to care about these titles. I legitimately give zero fucks when they're on TV. After 2 months, that's fucking sad. Do better. Honestly, do better. Clearly, they were never needed. OG Gio. Yes, I agree. They were never needed. Sami Zayn. He sent in a video from home about being laid out by Kevin Owens and the package pile driver. He had no neck brace on. He was just sitting in the comfort of his own home. He says he's not doing well. Good old Sammy. He's not doing well. He's seeing a neck specialist for nerve damage. He says he thinks the last couple of weeks have been especially tough to come to terms with after everything that happened with him and Kevin Owens. He says it's almost become a joke how often that they've turned on each other. He said it seems like an inevitability of their relationship, but this one was different. He said the package pile driver wasn't anything to get ahead or send a message. It wasn't about trying to get ahead or send a message. It was to try and end his career, and he wants to know why. Why were you trying to end my career? He says he's been there for Kevin Owens, but for Kevin Owens, it means he should have pushed Cody Rhodes off of a ladder and cheated to help him win a match. I guess we just look at things differently there. He says he doesn't know when he'll be cleared, but when he is, they are going to fight. And I'm telling you, it's not going to be fun, says Sami Zayn. I thought this was good. You can clearly see where they're going with this, and I'm excited as fuck for it. I really am. I knew exactly what they were going for the day of the pile driver. I knew exactly where it was going to take place. The only place that it's going to make sense is the Elimination Chamber. Canada, Toronto, Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Good stuff. Kevin Owens is someone who has no remorse, doesn't give a shit about anybody but his own well-being and his own desires. Sami Zayn, obviously now is the conquering babyface looking for revenge. This is a simple yet super uber duber effective storyline. Love it. Good stuff. We got a clip airing of Triple H. This was earlier in the day on Friday. Clip aired of Triple H on ESPN informing Michelle McCool that she will be inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame this year. Her husband, The Undertaker, was there with her, and it was a genuine surprise for Michelle McCool, who did not see the announcement coming at all. Good for her. Good for her. It was a very nice, emotional, real, heartwarming moment. Good stuff. Motor City Machine Guns. Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin versus Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. We go into a commercial break almost immediately after the ring introductions. Come back from the commercial break. Sabin got a hot tag and got a near fall on Humberto with a cradle. Drop kick off the top from Sabin into a flatliner. Got another near fall for the Guns. Garza held Shelley in a power slam while Carrillo put Sabin on Garza's shoulders. And then Humberto sprung off the ropes with a springboard kick. Carrillo then went for a moonsault, but ate Shelley's boots. After a plancha out to the floor, Sabin and Shelley hit skull and bones on Humberto and got the 1, 2, 3. So this was basically most of the match taking place in the commercial. And then after the commercial break was over, we got about 3 minutes of TV match. And that was it. They went right to the end. Not much to really invest in or legitimately give a shit about. Just the match that's forwards, the Machine Guns getting a victory and putting themselves back in line potentially to go after DIY and the Tag Team Championships. And that's it. That's it. Nothing more. No real story. No real, let's dissect it and see where it's going. None of that. Just a match, an outcome that takes the Machine Guns one step closer to DIY, with the rest of the teams all aiming for DIY. The Profits, the Pretty Deadly Guys, DIY, and now the Machine Guns. Great. Ask me if I care. I don't. Damian Priest introduced himself to SmackDown via a vignette, which was very well done. Damian Priest is always a good talker. Jacob Fatu, who's backstage with Tama Tonga. They finally found Solo Sikoa. Tell me what the hell is going on, says Fatu. Fatu demanded Solo to stand up. He was sitting in a chair all by himself in the locker room. Solo gets up. He meets Fatu face to face. He said he needed time off. He hasn't been himself lately. He let everybody down by losing the Ula Fala. Do you know what that did to me? I let everybody down. At least he's acknowledging that he's a loser. He acknowledged that he lost and let everybody down. But he did walk away. He did leave everybody to fend for themselves. He had no remorse for leaving everybody behind. He only thought of himself. He says he's okay now, and he's ready to take over the business like he's done before. He said the only way that happens is if we are together as one. He says Fatu has to win his chamber qualifying match, go into the chamber and win, and go to WrestleMania and bring the title back to our family. He looked at Jacob and he wanted Jacob to acknowledge that he was giving Jacob his blessing. And Jacob did not. Jacob did not acknowledge anything that Solo Sikoa was telling him. He didn't say, yep, you're right. Yes, I will. I love you, Solo. None of that. None of that. You can see the change from week to week since January 6th that Jacob Fatu has changed into a different man. Only a month. It's been a month and a half. Month and a half change for Jacob Fatu. Completely different person than he was on January 6th. Jacob turned to leave. He said nothing to Solo. Solo grabbed him by the arm and he said, Jacob, I love you. Fatu did not say anything. He did not acknowledge the I love you. He did not say, I love you, Solo. Nothing. He turned and walked away. Tama Tonga was standing there. He gave Solo a very long stare, and then he walked away and followed Jacob Fatu. Very intriguing situation. Fatu loves Solo so much. So Solo disappeared. He ghosted Jacob Fatu. Will Jacob ever forgive Solo? I don't know. I don't know. After what happened tonight, and Jacob Fatu not getting into the chamber, it is now the ghosting, leaving them high and dry, and then costing him the match tonight in the triple threat, costing him the chamber spot. It's going to blame Solo for that. It's going to be a very difficult task for Solo Sikoa to gain Jacob Fatu's trust. If you got to go through those hoops to gain his trust, Jacob just might put you out of your misery and walk away from you forever. That's the type of guy that he is. Very intriguing situation. And I do think that this is best for both going into WrestleMania. I know everybody was like, Jacob Fatu, Braun Breaker, Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns. As we start to see where the plans are becoming a little bit more clear for WrestleMania, what makes the ultimate sense for both Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa is themselves, each other. It's probably going to be for the right to lead this part of the family on Friday Night SmackDown. And Solo is going to have no choice but to engage in war, lose, and then probably go groveling back to Roman Reigns and the rest of his family and beg for forgiveness because he let everybody down and he needs guidance. And the only ones that are going to be there for him are his brothers and the tribal chief. And it will probably end up in a way where Jacob Fatu runs SmackDown to a point where it is unrecognizable. And the only way to save the monster out of control is by getting Roman and Jacob Fatu in a situation where Roman is called upon to end the Samoan werewolf. We'll see what happens. Very interesting story. I know the Bloodline story is weighing a little thin or wearing a little thin on people. But when you involve Jacob Fatu, I don't really think about that type of stuff. I'm just happy he's here. I'm happy he's on television. He's certainly one of the more bright spots on the WWE product. Shinsuke Nakamura. He made his way out to the ring. He says he's been waiting and praying for a worthy chance. First of all, I don't know why they gave this man a live microphone. I don't know why they gave Shinsuke Nakamura a live microphone. Outside of the entrance and the ambiance of his theme music and the entrance, what is Nakamura? Does anybody care? Is anybody emotionally invested in Nakamura? No, you're not. Stop bullshitting yourself. Stop. I know a liar when I see one, man. Nobody's interested in this fucking hack. Nobody cares. You guys want to see this man as the United States champion? The guy hasn't defended the fucking title in 80 days. How is there anybody out there saying that it was best to put the title on this guy? I said it when he beat LA Knight. Why? Why? Said it back at Survivor Series. Where are we now? Oh, that's right. JD was right. Again. The fuck are we doing, man? You take the title off LA Knight to do what? Kill it? What was LA Knight doing with the championship that was so terrible that Nakamura is doing now? Awful. Just awful. The guy is an awful fucking wrestler. He's an awful champion. I don't need to embellish anymore. He's been waiting patiently and praying for a worthy challenge. They gave him the what treatment? LA Knight's music, I don't know what else he said. He wants a worthy challenge and blah, blah, blah. I could barely understand half the fucking words out of his mouth. LA Knight thankfully saves this segment and said Nakamura was playing a game of 2 truths and 1 lie. He gets in the ring and said Nakamura has failed the test, although he seemed to perhaps lose his train of thought and forget a line as he got to the point. Miz walks out and interrupts both Shinsuke Nakamura and LA Knight. Nakamura drops out to ringside. He left the ring to Miz and LA Knight. Miz said LA Knight is wrong, very wrong, and he's not wrong often. LA Knight is a flash in the pan and a fad. I did say that months ago, but here we are on Friday Night SmackDown, and the fans are still eating out of the palm of your hand despite doing the same shtick, he says. He said it proves the fans are not educated. They're not smart. They are basic. He said neither Nakamura or LA Knight are worthy. Knight mocked Miz's laugh and said Miz is the one doing the same old shtick for the last 10 years. And it's been at least that long since The Miz has been relevant. Which I sense no lies. I see no lies in LA Knight's game here to The Miz. He said he almost forgot Miz was there. He told him to start a farewell tour like John Cena because everybody is ready to see you go away. Yes, everybody is ready to see The Miz go away. The Miz, Hall of Famer. Don't get me wrong, The Miz is a Hall of Famer. Miz, at one point, I was a big Miz guy at one point in my WWE viewing habits. Big Miz guy. Loved when he won the WWE Championship for the first time. Great moment. Great heel work. 2016 SmackDown, fantastic work with Dolph Ziggler. Fantastic stuff. I rave about her all the time. It's brought up. Now, in 2025, I don't think anybody wants to see The Miz on TV in 2025. The company has moved on beyond The Miz. The Miz is somewhere back in 2018. The company's moved on from him. Yet here we are still putting The Miz on television in segments like this that go nowhere to do what? When The Miz is on TV, it brings back a vibe of, gee, man, Vince is still here somewhere. I just get a Vince feeling, man. I get cold chills that come over my body. I don't want to see it. I want nothing to do with it. The Miz can still offer some value to the company. But as an on-air character in 2025 for a major championship on Friday night, the answer is no. No. Nobody wants to see that. The Miz is terrible television. The Miz has not been interesting in, like LA Knight said in his promo, 10 years. Again, I see no lies. The Miz then very uncomfortably started to mock cry. The Miz mocked crying for at least 30 seconds And I don't know where this promo went after the crying. This was annoying. It was overblown and overdone. Cringy at points. I don't know. I was over the segment as soon as The Miz started crying. LA Knight starts laughing. LA Knight starts looking in. He's looking at The Miz. He's checking on The Miz to see if he's all right. He said at the top, the very top of the crybabies list, are The Miz and Drew McIntyre. This was the one token LA Knight Drew McIntyre mention. But now he's calling The Miz a crybaby. And The Miz is going back to what LA Knight said last week, where LA Knight said it's okay if you're a grown man and want to cry every now and then. It's all right to cry. So The Miz was out here fake crying. Cringy. This was cringy at best. Awful. Miz says at least he's been to the top. After LA Knight says he's at the very top of crybaby bitches. Miz says at least he's been at the top. He said guys like Knight don't measure up to him. He said his resume stands alone when his career winds down, while LA Knight will never be on his level. He said if Cena can call his shot, he has earned that right too. He wants to call his shot for the United States Championship. Can you imagine in 2025 we get a United States Championship match with Shinsuke Nakamura and The Miz on Friday Night SmackDown? You could not hand me a fucking remote control fast enough. Again, I would love to know what these people look like and where these people dwell who are clamoring for a Miz and Nakamura one-on-one match for the United States title. I don't get it. So, LA Knight said when he was United States champion, he made the title shine. Again, truth. He said Miz is the most impotent dork. He says he's not championship material. Miz finally took a swing at LA Knight. LA Knight blocked it. Miz bailed out. Nick Aldis walked out and said, it's obvious that they're looking to fight. And Nakamura needs a worthy challenger. DC, do you sense where I'm going to go with this one? So he made an LA Knight Miz match, which I guess was the number one contender to Shinsuke Nakamura and the United States Championship. I don't know what this segment was. This was not the best night for LA Knight and The Miz, who are both individually very good on the stick. Tonight they were not. This was just channel-changing television for both LA Knight and The Miz. So went about 12 minutes or so. Nothing really all that blow away. I mean, it's a fucking Miz match. I don't know what you guys expect. LA Knight doesn't really do anything spectacular in the ring. It's all the same stuff, but I'd rather see him in the fucking ring than The Miz. So we went to commercial break after the match was made. We come back, and we got at least 10 minutes of TV time here. LA Knight caught The Miz with a power slam for a near fall. Nakamura was doing what he was doing on the outside, watching from the outside. Miz took control. It kicks. Slowed the match down with a chin lock. It's really what I want to see on my television, man. Miz slowing matches down with a fucking chin lock in 2025. And it was LA Knight fighting back, backdropped Miz to the floor, followed him out with a sliding drop kick. Knight smashed Miz's head into the announce table. Nakamura distracted Knight. Miz took control by sending Knight into the ringside still steps. Another commercial break. LA Knight comes back from the commercial. Neck breaker. Snap power slam. Big elbow for a near fall. Miz tripped up LA Knight on the middle turnbuckle, hits an avalanche clothesline and a flatliner out of the corner for a 2 count of his own. Miz then tried for skull-crushing finale. Knight dropped out of it into a cradle, tried for a flash pin, only got a 2 count. Miz hit a DDT for a near fall. LA Knight ran into a boot from The Miz. BFT out of nowhere. LA Knight then hit the elbow off the top rope, the one where he stands on the second turnbuckle, springboards himself up to the top turnbuckle, and then jumps off the top turnbuckle into the elbow drop for the 1, 2, 3, which I actually like better as his finish, but a lot more people are adopting an elbow drop for their finish. But in this case, I like it because this looks pretty. So I like the switcheroo. I like the BFT as a setup, and I like the elbow drop as a finish, and that's exactly what finished The Miz off. After the match was over, LA Knight and Nakamura had a stare down that I felt like went on forever. I thought an announcement was going to be made by Nick Aldis coming back out. I thought Nakamura or LA Knight would say Elimination Chamber, and one of the ringside microphones would have picked up something. These guys met face-to-face, which seemingly felt like fucking 5 minutes looking at each other and the United States Championship, and then the segment comes to a close. This entire 3-piece segment, from the promo to the match to the stare down, just felt so fucking off. So weird. And if you ask me, JD, do you care? No, I don't. Put the title back on LA Knight. Let's start building a decent program for the United States title going into WrestleMania, and get Nakamura and The Miz the fuck out of there. Awful. Just awful fucking television. The crowd could not be bothered to care one iota of a fuck about either one of those guys. And neither do I. Alexa Bliss. She was backstage. Nia Jax and Candice LeRae were there. Alexa told Jax to have fun, and hopefully she does better than Candice last week. Bliss said they could end up facing each other and have a WrestleMania rematch. Gee, nobody wants to see that one. Interestingly enough, we got a Wyatt 6 QR code that flashed on Alexa's segment backstage. Uh-oh. What are we doing, man? Alexa's on SmackDown. The Wyatt 6 are on SmackDown. Looks like we're going to get Alexa into the Wyatt-verse again. Hopefully it presents better television than fucking Nakamura and The Miz. Did anybody see what the QR code said? What did the QR code read? Did it do anything? Was it Uncle Howdy? Was it something to do with Alexa Bliss and her Wyatt family lore? Does anybody know? I haven't seen or heard anybody talk about it. I don't know. Carmelo Hayes. He made his entrance. We got a clip of Carmelo telling R-Truth he had to show him that he's him. Of course, this confused R-Truth. He said, you is you. You're the reason the toothpaste has instructions. Carmelo says he's going to talk to Aldis about a match. Chad is saying the QR code read, do you feel in charge? I always feel in charge. I don't sometimes when I watch Friday Night SmackDown because it's so fucking boring. Backstage, we got Andrade approaching The Miz. Gee, man, we got a Miz promo, a Miz match, and now a Miz backstage segment, man. 3 segments for The Miz on Friday Night SmackDown, man. Oh, man, I can't wait for next week's show. Andrade said he watched his match and he could teach him something. Just let me know, he says. He walks away. Carmelo Hayes told Miz, people like Andrade don't respect talent like us. Miz agreed. People should learn respect and learn to respect them. And he suggested they be a team. He offered a fist bump. And then he said, Melo, don't Miz. Melo did not fist bump The Miz. Melo gave him a dirty look, and Melo walked away. Rightfully so. Melo isn't lighting the world on fire either, and I pairing him with The Miz is fucking career suicide at this point. No. Please. Move as far away from Miz as you possibly can. 2 minutes. Carmelo beats R-Truth in 2 minutes. I don't know why this was on the show. I don't know why we needed this. I don't know why this went shorter than... Listen, I don't know why the match with Tozawa went longer than the match with R-Truth. The match with Tozawa went 8 minutes. This week, it's like they booked it backwards. R-Truth and Carmelo went 2 minutes. Hayes jumped Truth to start. Cut off the John Cena-inspired offense. Super kick. Hayes escaped attitude adjustment from R-Truth. Came off the top rope with a scissor kick and got the pinfall, not the near fall. He got the 1, 2, 3. So Carmelo Hayes beat R-Truth in 2 minutes. Listen, man, I don't know what they're doing with Melo, but Melo's getting wins. These wins are going to have to amount to something. These wins are going to take him somewhere. Maybe we get Miz. No, not Miz. Maybe we get Melo. Melo is Miz. No. Maybe we get Melo and LA Knight for the United States Championship at WrestleMania, and Melo wins the United States Championship. I think that sounds good to me. Have LA Knight beat Nakamura at the Chamber, have him hold it for a little bit, and then we get Melo beating LA Knight. And we get the championship on somebody proper. Other than that, I don't know what Carmelo Hayes does at WrestleMania. If he will be included in Mania plans at all, I don't know. But at least he's getting wins. Street Profits, they still want the smoke. They're being dark and angry about it. Obviously, I like the change for the Street Profits. Much needed change. Angelo Dawkins says they ruffled some feathers, but they were just telling the truth. He said if anyone should be mad, it should be them, because they had vowed to never let grudges consume them. He says they made liars out of them. They listed all the SmackDown tag teams and said if they get in their way, they'll end up in the dirt. Montez says he loves that passion. He said nothing is okay, but it will finally be shown to the world that they want the smoke. Well, for the Street Profits to want the smoke, they'd have to actually be in the building on the show, which is now 2 weeks without them even sniffing the smoke. Byron Saxton. He interviewed Pretty Dead. It's pretty deadly, it says. Pretty deadly. Listen, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I misread it. I apologize, man. It says pretty deadly. Here, look, I have it all. Look, pretty deadly, man. Oh, man. It says pretty deadly. You see that, man? Deadly. I'm sorry, man. Byron interviewed Pretty Deadly about what the Prophets had to say. They said they are done being underestimated. Underestimated? Is that what we're calling them now? I'm just calling them boring. DIY walked in. Johnny Gargano said that he thought they had something special going on. First of all, they said, yes, boy. And Gargano walked in and said, no, boy. Yeah, no, boy. He thought they had something special going on, but they threw it all away. Elton Prince says they chose to stand up for themselves. Gargano says he wasn't ready last week for a match. Ciampa said whatever happens next week is on them, and they will give their career a proper moment of silence. My God, man, if anybody needs a change, it is Pretty Deadly. God, they are fucking awful. Does anybody care about Pretty Deadly? Does anybody care about them? Do they get any reactions in the arena? They're a fine tag team. They're a well-oiled tag team. But nobody could give a shit. Nobody. There's a lot of that going around on Friday Night SmackDown, man. We just don't give a shit about a lot of what's going on here. We don't care. Kevin Owens. We got the very Kevin Owens-like promo from his rental car. I love these KO promos. They're all grainy. shot from like a fucking Nokia flip phone. I don't know what type of cell phone Kevin Owens has, man. I mean, you would think he would have an iPhone 16 Plus Max, right? I mean, we got 4K capabilities. I mean, it's all grainy and fucking gray. There's no color correction on it. Nothing. What are we doing? Does he not know how to operate a camera? Is he fucking filming me on what? A T-Mobile fucking Sidekick. Remember those? Those didn't even have cameras. 240p. What's below 240p? Is there anything below 240p? Kevin Owens, that's what he's filming in. He responded to Sami Zayn. He says he's not doing well because he had his heart broken in the last 6 months by 3 guys he considered brothers. Obviously, Cody, Randy, who we haven't seen yet. I think we'll see him at the Chamber in this match. And then Sami. I still think Kevin Owens is right. I do. Maybe not as far as what he did to Sami, but everything else, I'm with him. He said Sami talks about the pain he's in and how his neck is hurt. He says he doesn't know what real pain is, but he'll show him. He says if he wants to fight again, that's great and perfect. Let's do it. He suggested they do it where they got started, in Canada. Clear or not, I don't care. Elimination Chamber. Come find me. Then you will know pain. Okay. So we got the men's and women's chamber. We got Sami and Kevin Owens. We got Tiffany and Trish against Nia and Candice. Is anything else going to be added to this chamber card? Maybe one more match? Maybe we get Nakamura and LA Knight? Gee, man, something big's got to happen there. This looks like a weak card on paper outside the chamber matches. And Sami and KO, obviously. Tiffany Stratton was backstage. They cut to Charlotte, who was prepping herself, getting herself comfortable, getting ready to watch the next match between Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax, which was a title match for the WWE Women's Championship. This was probably the second best thing on the entire show in a 3-hour SmackDown. Easy. The main event I enjoyed a lot more. But this was good too. This went almost 17 minutes. 17 minutes for Nia Jax on Friday Night SmackDown. Charlotte was watching. She did watching the television from the angled look that WWE always does. It looks completely unnatural and completely robotic, but I mean, it's Charlotte Flair. Robot and Charlotte in the same sentence, they go hand in hand, man. She does everything super unnatural. Everything. Nia Jax ragdolled Tiffany Stratton to start. Stratton cartwheeled out of a hip toss, but got caught with a pop-up headbutt for a near fall. Nia Jax tried a big hip attack against the ring post, and Stratton escaped and hit a handspring elbow, which looks great. Nia Jax dropped Stratton with a Samoan drop for a near fall. Slam, and then a leg drop from Nia Jax gets another 2 count. Does Nia Jax have the most effortless leg drop in the business? I mean, she doesn't even jump. She just runs gingerly off the ropes and then just sits down. She might have the most weak leg drop in the business. Sometimes it looks good. Most of the times it looks bad. So after the leg drop, Nia Jax went for another hip attack against the ring post, and this time did not miss. Then dropped a big elbow for a near fall. So we go to a commercial break. Yes, lazy is a good way to put it. A lazy leg drop. Yeah. Absolutely. Stratton fought herself out of a Miz shinlock. Stratton and Jax went for some type of powerbomb into a sunset flip spot. This looked awful. I don't know what the fuck this was. Listen, Tiffany did the best that she could, man. Floating over out of whatever this powerbomb spot was. She tried to roll Nia Jax over into a sunset flip. Let me tell you something, Tiffany. That ain't going to work on any night, man. That's not going to work. But I appreciate the effort. I don't know what the fuck was going on there. This went very, very poorly. So Jax caught Stratton going for a second handspring elbow and just dropped her. Dumped her right down on the mat. Dropped another leg drop for another near fall. Nia Jax put Stratton on her shoulders for a Samoan drop. Stratton slipped free, tripped Jax, came off the top with a double foot stomp for a near fall. So Stratton goes back up top. Nia Jax tripped her up. She was setting up for a super Samoan drop. Nia Jax dropped a leg off the middle rope for another near fall as Charlotte continues to watch from the backstage area. I wonder what Charlotte is thinking. I wonder what she's thinking. Only 64 more days till I win the championship. That's exactly what she's saying, right?
Only 64 more days until I win the women's championship. I can give Tiffany a much better match than Nia Jax.
That's exactly what she's saying. That's real Charlotte Flair, by the way. Thank you, Charlotte, for coming on the post show. Appreciate it. Excellent analysis.
You're very welcome, JD from New York. That is NEWYORK, New York.
Thank you, Charlotte. Appreciate it. Man, that's some stellar vocabulary you got in that database, man. That's unbelievable. Moving on. So Charlotte's watching backstage. We go to another commercial break. Stratton hits a moonsault to the floor on Nia Jax. Now, I don't know if this was done purposely. This was not a good-looking moonsault. It was good in execution, but this was very Charlotte Flair-esque. She missed. She did the old Charlotte, let me flip off the top rope to the outside and pretend it's a moonsault, and the moonsault only grazes her opponent with like a fingernail, and everybody's raving, oh my God, Charlotte's the greatest athlete in the history of the world! We go back in the ring. Stratton hits a swanton bomb, which looked beautiful. Beautiful. They didn't show Charlotte watching the swanton bomb, though. Stratton tried to pick Nia Jax up for Samoan drop, but fell under Nia Jax's weight. Jax went for the banzai drop, or the annihilator. Stratton got out of the way. Now, they tried to play this off the best that they can. I don't know what the fuck happened here. Stratton got out of the way. She's lucky she got out of the way. Nia Jax all of a sudden misses the annihilator. Stratton went for the prettiest moonsault ever, but Candice LeRae all of a sudden jumps on the ring apron and crotches Tiffany Stratton on the top rope and causes a disqualification. So LeRae gets a chair. Trish Stratus jumped from the crowd and made the save on Tiffany. Stratus got squashed by an avalanche. Imagine paying a ticket to sit front row, and then you're squashed by Nia Jax in an avalanche in the corner. Jax then leveled Stratton with a leg drop. And we got a bunch of officials out there. Jason Jordan's out there breaking this chaos up. Nia Jax and LeRae went to the back. And all of a sudden you hear,
Oh, hail the Queen.
Her theme music, that terrible theme music hits. Charlotte comes walking out. Takes forever to get down there. She gets in the ring finally. She picks up the steel chair that was laid in the ring. Sets up a steel chair. She sits, has Tiffany Stratton still laid out at the end of her match. She took a microphone as she sits there and she says, and I quote,
The Queen chooses you. I will see you at WrestleMania for the WWE Women's Championship.
That was it. Charlotte Flair and Tiffany Stratton are now official for WrestleMania. Great. Like nobody expected that to happen. Let me tell you something, folks. Let me tell you something. I have one thing to say. I will say this for the next 64 days. This is your public service announcement for February 14th, 2025. Charlotte Flair should not, under any circumstances, Paul, win the women's championship. I don't know if anybody backstage has ears or a good set of eyeballs. Nobody cares about Charlotte Flair. Nobody wants to see Charlotte Flair. Nobody has any emotion towards Charlotte Flair. Zero. Absolutely zero. Nobody cares about the fucking android coming back. And oh my God, it took me 14 months to get back. Oh my God, Andrade. Nobody cares. Nobody gives a single fuck at all. Normally, in a proper situation, Charlotte Flair, who is the flag bearer for this division, the cream of the crop of this division, to see the division flourish for the betterment of the future of the women's division and women's wrestling. You should guide the younger talent, help them get over so that when you're not there anymore, they are in a better position when you leave. How does this division flourish if Charlotte Flair wins the women's championship? Exactly how? Does anybody have an answer to that question? Does anybody in the chat have anybody? I would love anybody to tell me if I'm wrong in that assessment. No? I'm right? Yeah, I know I am. Under no circumstances, zero circumstances, should Charlotte Flair be defeating Tiffany Stratton at WrestleMania. If Tiffany Stratton does not retain the championship, there will be a rant WrestleMania weekend. I don't want to rant. I don't want to raise my voice. I just want to enjoy the show, man. I just want to enjoy the show, okay? I just want to enjoy Tiffany Stratton, who deserves it, winning and retaining the championship. That's it. I don't know. I don't know how you listen to the reaction that Tiffany gets. I don't know how you listen to the reaction that this match got. I don't know how you look at that beautiful swanton bomb and then say, you know what? I'm just going to put the title on Charlotte Flair, man. Fuck Tiffany Stratton. No, but you know what? We'll put the title on Charlotte, and then we'll give her a heel run, and then we'll have Tiffany beat Charlotte. Tiffany's already over. What are you doing? Beating Charlotte amounts to nothing in 2025. It means shit. Nobody cares. Everybody would rather see Tiffany already anyway than Charlotte Flair. So why are you just going backwards? Why? There's no, it's just, there's no excuse. There's no excuse. No excuse. Can't happen. Can't happen. I just don't see it. I don't see it. We got a development in the situation with Jade Cargill. Apparently Nick Aldis has called Naomi and Bianca Belair to his office. He told them that he got an anonymous tip and a video shot on a cell phone that he now is in possession of as he tries to click the remote to play the video, and it doesn't. He had to do it again. He played it nice and cool and calm and collected, man. He clicked it again, and there it goes. It finally shows up on the TV screen. He doesn't know who filmed it. But he said he has it, and he wants to show them. So the screen shows the ambulance and Jade being lifted into the ambulance on the gurney. Looked like Naomi was there in her green coat. That's very flamboyant, bright green coat that she was wearing the night of. And all of a sudden we see Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez walk by as everybody's attending to Jade in the ambulance. So Naomi and Belair look at this. Bianca's in the back and can't really see Bianca's facial expression. And Naomi's like this. And they're all watching it. I knew it. Naomi and Belair said they knew all along. Naomi said everyone thought it was her. And she starts complaining to Bianca. I know. Clearly it's not. Belair thanked Aldis for showing them. He says they don't know anything yet, but he's going to call Adam Pearce and discuss it further. Belair says they're going to Raw to handle Liv and Raquel themselves. Now, the footage looked a little off to me. I don't really understand why they're all there and all of a sudden you just see Liv and Raquel walking away from the scene in the middle of everywhere. It's like, I mean, they're legitimately in the parking lot where the ambulance is and nobody sees them. Nobody saw them walking right by the ambulance. Some people were online tonight saying, oh, well, this is weak. I don't believe WWE revealed the attackers tonight. They didn't reveal anything. Why in the fuck would WWE reveal the attackers in doctored footage on a random episode of Friday Night SmackDown on Valentine's Day in Washington, D.C.? Why would they do that? This is called, in pro wrestling terminology, geeks, this is called a swerve. Not talking about Swerve Strickland. This is a swerve. Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez did not attack Jade Cargill. That would be too blatantly obvious. Oh, yeah, it's the heels. Let's go with the heels. Let's go with the heels that are feuding with the tag team champions right now. No, that's not the outcome. That's not the culprits here. I don't understand why people think this is the end of the storyline. This is a swerve. Now, Bianca and Naomi are going to Monday Night Raw to deal with Liv and Raquel. I could tell you what exactly is going to happen. They're going to win the tag team championships before or at WrestleMania. Liv and Raquel. That's it. Wherever that takes place, you will see Jade Cargill. And Jade Cargill will come out and let everyone know. She will let everyone know who attacked Jade Cargill. And then we get the story progressing from Jade and whomever attacked her as Liv and Raquel now own the tag team championships. I said this for weeks. It's either one of two things. Liv and Raquel are going to win the tag team championships before WrestleMania, and they're going to walk into Mania as champions, or they're going to win the championships at WrestleMania. But it looks like they may actually change the championships before WrestleMania. We'll find out the attacker before WrestleMania, and whoever the attacker is, they will go one-on-one with Jade Cargill. Which at this point, I do believe will end up being Naomi. Or it could be Bianca. Bianca or Naomi are my number 1 and 2. We could see that take place. Maybe we get that reveal at WrestleMania. Maybe we do. If it's Naomi, we get Jade and Naomi at WrestleMania. If it's not Naomi, it's Bianca. And Bianca gets screwed out of the Women's Championship match against Rhea Ripley because Jade Cargill is going to reveal to everybody that Jade Cargill is the one that attacked Jade Cargill. Or Bianca, rather, is the one that attacked Jade Cargill. They didn't reveal anything here. They did not reveal the attacker. So slow your roll, calm your tits. Nothing was revealed here. It's called a swerve. They're going to let it sit for a little bit, man. They're not going to reveal it and reveal all their cards in one shot. People are so fucking impatient. Byron Saxton interviewed Tiffany Stratton backstage. Tiffany said Charlotte is going to know it's Tiffy time, but it's too hard to focus on WrestleMania after what Jax and LeRae did to her. Trish walked up and suggested a tag team match in Toronto at the Elimination Chamber with them against Nia and Candice. Tiffany was excited that it would be Tiffany and Trishy time. Tiffy and Trishy time. Drew McIntyre. He walked up to Jimmy Uso, Big Jim, backstage. about Jay and Charlotte each choosing their path to WrestleMania. Drew says he'll beat Cody for the title at WrestleMania. He told Jimmy he used to be angry like him. He told him to listen close to his advice. He says his career is going to really, really, really go badly and get flushed down the toilet. But at least he married up. He laughed. He turned to leave. And then he super kicked Drew. And then he did no yeet. And we got another Jimmy Uso versus Drew McIntyre match next week on Friday Night SmackDown, man. Oh, my goodness. I can't wait. I can't wait. Braun Strowman was shown backstage, cuts a promo about his match. He said, people forget he's a former world champion, and it's been 5 years since he's held gold. He said, tonight he'll win, and then Cody, he's coming for him. Oh, man, you keep dreaming big, big man. You keep those dreams alive, brother. They ain't ever coming true. Jacob Fatu, Damian Priest, and Braun Strowman. Triple threat Elimination Chamber qualifying match. This was awesome. This was really good. Triple threat match here went 16 minutes. Main event spot. Fatu and Priest were brawling. Strowman hits a running crossbody, sent both Fatu and Priest to the floor with clotheslines. He owns the ring, and we go to a commercial break. Fatu went for another Samoan drop. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I'm speeding up here. We go to the ring after the picture-in-picture. Strowman pulled Fatu out of the ring, threw him against the boards outside, the LED boards, the barricades. Fatu sent Strowman into the ring steps. Then he went back into the ring to deal with Damian Priest. Priest stunned Fatu with a big elbow, took him down with a big spinning heel kick. Priest knocked Strowman off the apron after a super kick. Priest tried for an old-school rope walk on Fatu, but Strowman caught Priest with a choke, and Fatu turned it into a Samoan drop. Excellent spot. Fatu then hit a swanton bomb on Damian Priest, which looked beautiful. Could Jacob Fatu do it all? He absolutely could. Fatu went for another Samoan drop. Priest escaped. Fatu hit a super kick, then set up Priest for a superplex. Strowman ran in, and they did the stack superplex powerbomb spot in the corner, which is very formulaic for these triple threat matches. USA censored the holy shit chant. We got a couple that snuck through, but for the most part, they were censored holy shit chants. God, I love Netflix. Strowman and Fatu, they're in the ring now. They hit each other with clotheslines. Big back body drop by Strowman on Fatu. Fatu dropped to the floor. Priest gave him a flatliner against the commentary table. Strowman pounced Priest over the table and took him out of the match momentarily. And then he chokeslammed Fatu on the table, and the table did not break. It did not break. It remained intact. If this was an AEW table, it would have folded like it was a fucking paper mache. Back in the ring, Fatu takes control over Strowman. Series of hip attacks against the turnbuckles. Same thing he did at Saturday night's main event on January 25th. Fatu took a chair. Crowd cheered because they love violence. And they love Fatu. Wrapped the chair around Strowman's neck. I don't like these spots. These spots look ridiculous. It took forever to set up. The chair's around Strowman's neck. He's just laying in the fucking corner. You would think that as another human being that's putting a steel chair around another human being's neck, that the guy with the chair around his neck would take the chair off and fucking remove the chair. He's just sitting there with it. It looks fucking stupid. It looks so stupid. He tries for another hip attack. Strowman eventually gets up and he boots Fatu in the face with the steel chair around his neck. He then takes the steel chair and starts smashing the steel chair over Fatu's back. Solo Sikoa came out of nowhere to catch Strowman with a Samoan spike. This was after Strowman hit the chair across the back on Fatu. Then he puts the chair around Fatu's neck. He was going to do the same hip attack on Fatu, but Solo Sikoa came out of nowhere and Samoan spiked Braun Strowman. This brought out Cody Rhodes to fight off Solo Sikoa. Tama Tonga showed up to rescue Solo Sikoa, and Sikoa took out Tama Tonga by accident with a Samoan spike. So there you go. Miscommunication that obviously got Fatu involved. He jumped out of the ring and became distracted to get in Solo's face about hitting Tama Tonga. This gave Priest the opportunity to get up, clothesline Fatu out of the match. He dumped him into the timekeeper's area. Rhodes hit Sikoa with the crossroads out to the floor. Strowman went for a power slam on Priest. He gets out of it. South of Heaven on Braun Strowman by Damian Priest. 1, 2, 3, Damian Priest advances to the Elimination Chamber. Not surprised by the outcome at all. I was hoping for Fatu, but we're not getting Fatu in the chamber. Looks like Fatu versus Solo at WrestleMania. After the match, Cody and Damian Priest, they shook hands and they looked at each other. They are looking at the WrestleMania sign, and it looks like Damian Priest is also now eyeing Cody Rhodes, because that's the only way to the main event, through the chamber. He's in it. The only one left is Seth Rollins. It will be Rollins and Balor. Rollins will advance, and Rollins will complete the field of 6. Damian Priest is not winning the chamber. Logan Paul is not winning the chamber. Seth Rollins is not winning the chamber. Drew McIntyre is not winning the chamber. It's either going to be Cena or Punk. And I got a video coming out this weekend where Ari Emanuel, the boss, Ari Emanuel, said something major is going to happen at the Elimination Chamber. What that is, we don't know. What's major? It's either The Rock returning or something's going to happen in the chamber that gives us the true road to WrestleMania. I'm not feeling it yet. Nobody is. John Cena winning the chamber straight up is boring. There needs to be something. CM Punk winning the chamber straight up and challenging Cody Rhodes is boring. Something needs to happen. What that is, I don't know. Does someone get taken out? Does someone's spot get filled with somebody else? Does someone enter the chamber and cause chaos from outside coming in like we've seen in the past? I don't know. What about Punk and Cena pinning each other? Something along those lines. Maybe we get Punk and Cena pinning each other. Maybe we get a 1994 Bret and Luger situation to play into the 2-night event like they did last year. Jey Uso and Gunther are not main eventing WrestleMania. Neither is Charlotte and Tiffany Stratton. Something's going to main event night 1. It's not going to be Jey Uso. What is it going to be? Are we going to get a double cancellation in the Elimination Chamber? Are 2 guys going to walk out of the chamber going to WrestleMania? Imagine they do John Cena versus CM Punk night 1 of WrestleMania with the winner then getting Cody Rhodes in night 2 of WrestleMania because of what happens in the Elimination Chamber. Some fuckery in the chamber. I like it. Gives us a sense of climbing the mountain, a sense of unpredictability, a sense of adversity for both John Cena and CM Punk on the road to WrestleMania. They both failed at the Royal Rumble. Now they have to go through each other in Cena's final year. Now, this is obviously all being booked without The Rock's involvement. We could see The Rock show up in the chamber. We don't fucking know. What is Ari Emanuel talking about? I said it last night on social media. I may be on a boat floating down the river all to myself. This is just me. I think we still see The Rock somewhere along the road to WrestleMania, somewhere. We got 2 months. We don't need 2 months to sell Rock and Roman. We don't. To do what? Rock coming back to TV now to do what? Make 1 appearance, show up 5 weeks later, do a second appearance, show up at Mania, and do the match. I would rather The Rock give us 4 good weeks of television to tell this entire story. We don't need to have him come back at the Rumble or in February. Chamber may be a possibility, But I do think that you give me a good 3 or 4 weeks to tell Rock and Roman if that's what they want to do, or Rock and Cody if that's what they want to do. We don't need him on TV for 2 months. We don't. Well, what is he going to do? Like I said, do one show, take the next 5 weeks off, and then show up one more time, do a Rock concert, and then boom, we're at WrestleMania. We don't need that. That's going to be more chaotic, and it's going to leave people begging for more where there is none, instead of us giving us a nice, concise, small portion of the television show where he's there every single Monday to tell that story. Again, I may be all on this island by myself, guys. I may be all by myself here. But I think The Rock is still going to be involved in some way, shape, or form. I do. I don't know where we're going. Chamber should be very, very interesting, and I'm predicting the Chamber is going to be very newsworthy. Thank you guys for your support tonight. Appreciate you. We're going to get into your super chats. I wish these Friday night shows were a little bit more exciting. Nothing really going on here that's piquing my interest. I don't know. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for all notifications. Go check out all of the content on the channel. There is plenty of it. More content coming both Saturday and Sunday. Maybe live with NXT Vengeance Day tomorrow night. Grand Slam? I don't know. I'm hearing that it's going to air at 2 o'clock in the morning. I will not be reviewing it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know if I'll be watching it at 2 o'clock in the morning. I may wake up and just watch it during my Sunday morning coffee. Tonight's show is sponsored by my great friends over at Bluechew. That's right. That's right, Bluechew. Everybody asks, JD, does Bluechew work? Of course it works. You'll be mistaken for a soldier with a full salute. Elon shooting you to Mars with that pocket rocket. Calling you an Eagle Scout the way you guys pitch a tent. Of course it fucking works. Bluechew.com. Bluechew is putting its money where its mouth is and offering you a month free. The process is very simple. You're going to sign up at Bluechew.com. You're going to consult with one of their online medical providers, and once you are approved, you're going to receive your prescription within days. No questions asked. It's all done online. It's great. They're made in the USA. They're prepared to ship directly to you, very discreetly, right to your front door, and you can take them anytime, day or night. Plan ahead. Be ready when that opportunity arises. And like I said, the best part, it's all done online. No visits to the doctor's office. No awkward conversations. No waiting in line at the pharmacy. Make life easier. Get yourself Bluechew. Bluechew.com. We got a special deal for all of our listeners. Try your first month free at Bluechew.com. Bluechew.com for more details and, importantly, the safety information that comes with that. And we thank Bluechew for sponsoring the podcast right here on Off the Script. Super chats. Get into them and then get the hell out of here. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. JD, OTS. Hope everyone has a great weekend. Thank you, brother. Michael also says, JD, how was your brother's birthday? My brother's birthday is on the 16th. Ali with a 5. JD, if you would say Wardlow would be the next to come to WWE, how good would he fit in NXT? He'd be a world champion. Imagine Wardlow versus Obafemi. Sign me up. Johnny Boy Vaccaro with a 15 in Super Chat. Joseph. Vic. Instead of Corey Graves. Dude, what the fuck? The Miz needs to be sidelined to replace Joseph, Vic, or Booker T. R-Truth Had a Rush Hour 2 segment with Carmelo. LOL. Dude, R-Truth is great. Yeah, he's great. He's a loser, but he's great. And why are you calling him Joseph Vick? Is that his new name? Is that what we call him on Tuesday nights? We just say his name backwards? Also, Johnny Boy says, is Montez Ford trying to give off Jacob vibes in Street Profits vignette? Triple H put them back in the ring with that New Day heel heat. Yeah, we don't know if the Street Profits are going to be heel. They may be babyface. I would assume they are babyface. Sue with a $5 super chat. JD, tell me why people give you so much grief when all you do is tell the truth about wrestling. Some people, I guess, will never change. But thanks. You are the best. Thank you, Sue. Yeah, we had a little run-in today with some fucking absolute fucking snowflake weirdo from Fightful today because I tweeted that we could be potentially interviewing Jose the Assistant here on the channel. And then obviously, you know, he came out and Jose said something about, yeah, you know, JD's a polarizing guy and, you know, all that stuff. So this guy, Mike Indeed, who, if you took a look at him, is, I mean, all you got to do is look at him and you know what I'm saying. He says he's not a polarizing person. He's a bigot who fosters a community of hateful people. The only homophobia I have experienced in my time in wrestling media was from his community. Really? Chad, are we dealing in homophobia? Are we a hateful community? I don't. This is news. This is news to me. What is he talking about, chat? If you want to go send him some kind remarks at Mike from Indeed on Twitter. There you go. Maybe we should bully him over to Blue Sky and get him the fuck off of Twitter. So I told him today, imagine waking up. This was, by the way, at 9:30 in the morning, he said this comment. I said, imagine waking up and spewing this type of hate towards a literal stranger over pro wrestling, Mike from Indeed. You know what I'm doing with my morning, Mike? Planning my brother's 40th birthday celebration. Instead of hating from the sidelines like you usually do when literally no one ever asked you for your opinion. We'll never ask you for your opinion. How about you just get good? Huh? Oh, wait, that would require actual talent. Trash. Sue Childress. Thank you, Sue. Appreciate you. Beyond the script with a 999. What's up, brother? JD, I just want to see Cody versus Rock. What else would be the point of hold this for me? I'll be coming back for it. You know what it is. He has to show. I agree. What did Rock hand Cody? Don't go and break my heart again. Even the bad blood, 1, 2, 3, throat slash. What does it mean? What does it mean? What does it mean? Northern DC, Mike from Indeed says he doesn't have to resort to showing any evidence of what he is accusing us of to prove a point. Meanwhile, you guys want to get a kick out of this. I'll read this to you because I replied to somebody. My guy, Richie, Authentic Richie, on Twitter says, JD, I got blocked because I called him out on his weak attempt to try and cancel you and ruin his interview opportunity, meaning mine, with Jose. What's amazing is he did it without me using any insults. I just dared to disagree with him. He's grifting. So I screenshot a couple of things that he posted 2 weeks ago. Mike from Indeed said this on social media. I wish I had an in real life friend that I could hang out with and watch a hockey game with or play some Madden with. Sitting around my home all by myself every night is depressing. would like to know what quality it is I possess that makes it where I have no friends and I spend every night alone wishing I had people to go on adventures and have fun with. Meanwhile, supposedly, this guy is married and he's complaining about not having friends, spending his nights alone. Are we looking at a situation where he's A, lying, or B, the mutant that he's with wants nothing to do with him? You be the judge. Thanks for coming. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, Mike from Indeed. There you go. Let's throw on some Stryker, some real music. Johnny Boy with a 10. WWE's dropping the mystery Jade Attacker story. Or are they trying to build heat for a lame women tag team match at Mania? If Bianca doesn't win, it's a multi-woman match to give Rhea a disadvantage. No, they didn't drop it. They're not dropping anything. It's going to be a WrestleMania storyline. That's what they're waiting for. Tribal Chief with a $2 super chat. I just came to see the GOAT of the IWC. OTS for life. Thank you, Tribal Chief. I appreciate you, brother. Michelle with a $2 super chat. Outside of the Drew and KO promos, SmackDown was meh. Yeah. Yeah, the last two matches on the show were really good. Michael Krause with a $2 super chat. Tonight, can we get the Android voice, bro? Michael, I gave you 2 Android voices, bro. Brian Rodersheimer with a $20 super chat. What's up, Brian? Seen a recent episode of yours. You and Jesse said Jericho never won a world title in WWE. Not true. He beat The Rock in Austin to be the first undisputed champion on one of their pay. I never said Jericho never won a world championship. What are you talking about, bro? When did I ever say Jericho never won a world championship? Might have been Jesse. You might have heard him wrong, not me. King Mo Jackson with the 199. Sending you a shout out. OTS for life. You are the GOAT. Thank you, King Mo. Ali with a $5 super chat. JD, can you please make a t-shirt saying "Get off my TV, Charlotte Flair"? No. I wish I could make the "Get off my TV" line again. If I did, I'm sure that there will be people trying to cancel me as usual. That was a great line of merchandise, huh? Oh man, I loved the "Get off my TV" line, man. Those were some epic designs. If you got some of those designs, keep them, man. You might not ever see them again. Justin with a 30 months. I'm sick of seeing champs lose non-title matches. Yeah, me too. Me too. Wow, we got Janelle Grant in the chat. Oh my goodness, man. What a $4.99 says Janelle Grant. At least we still get Lyra versus Becky. Aren't you excited? Because they're both Irish. Apparently that screams WrestleMania for the WWE team. Boring. I don't know where Becky is. She will be back, though. She will be back. Abyss says people are always trying to cancel you. What's the difference? I don't know. I don't know. I see you, bro. I see you all the way in the back of the bar, man. drinking a fucking whiskey on ice. We got my guy who walks in late for last call. My guy, Adam Casper, with a $100 super chat. Oh, my goodness. Adam Casper with a $100 super chat. Happy weekend, JD and everybody. When do you think Ricky Starks joins the main roster on Raw or SmackDown? I would say give the man 12 months, Adam. Let him run. Let him run NXT. That's what I think is the best. What is he, 34 years old, 35 years old? Plenty of time. Plenty of time. Baby Huey, $9.99. Stratton is mid. Her finisher is not better than Io's. I think Tiffany's moonsault is better than Io's. It's a completely different moonsault. Io's is more straight. Io's has no lift. Tiffany's does. She's over because she's cute. And she's a Mandy Rose knockoff. To each his own, I guess. JD's my hero. JD for life. Thank you, Baby Huey. Appreciate you, brother. We got the cake with a $2 super chat. He says, the Miz's promo was WWE's thoughts on mental health. I thought the Miz's promo was garbage. Jose with a 2. Do you think WWE is better now than it was in 22-23? I do. I do. And Chris with a $9.99. What's up, JD? I love the idea of Cena Punk pinning each other in the chamber. Recreate 94, but you would have Cody wrestle both Cena and Punk in both night 1 and night 2. Have Cody beat both men. Now you want to make Cody Rhodes. There you go. Guys, I'm about to get out of here, man. It is late. SmackDown doesn't deserve me any longer than they've kept me. And I will see you guys tomorrow with more content right here on the channel, man. We got a loaded weekend coming up. Loaded weekends. Start the Dark Horse, man. Get out of here, take a hot shower, go to bed. You guys know me, brother. Thank you guys for a great stream. Thank you guys for a great stream. Follow me on social media at JD from NY206. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and Cameo. Hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for notifications. Go check out all the other content on the channel. There's plenty of it. Ricky Starks video today, man. You guys want my thoughts on his NXT debut? I uploaded the video today. Go and check it out. More news coming this weekend. My thoughts on Josh Alexander. My thoughts on the Punk, Cody, and Cena rumored triple threat match for WrestleMania. Slow King, you the man. Thank you, brother. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. You guys know the deal. And I'll see you right back here with more content on the channel. And maybe tomorrow night, Vengeance Day, right here on Off the Script. I'll see you guys later.